It's kind of like in the movie Ring when they throw Samira down the well, and then they show you her perspective, and it's just darkness with just that little ring of light there at the end. That's very close to what I saw. As I'm falling backwards, the light is getting further and further away from me, and I'm in a complete panic mode. I know that something really, really serious has just happened. I felt a detachment. I felt like I was split in two. Like my body was one place, but my everything that I was, my soul, my personality, my character, my history within my soul was being separated from my body as I'm falling backwards. I land and I'm kind of like in a kind of like prone position on the floor with my hands in front of me like this. And I lift my head up and I can see that I'm in what looks like to be a cave or rocks. There's rocks and there's dirt all around me. It's incredibly dark. There is only glimmers of light. At this point, I'm still kind of like looking down, looking up right in front of me, and all I see is darkness. And I see this kind of luminance coming from my right side, right over my shoulder. And I'm feeling very, very weak. I mean, very, very lethargic. I pick my head up and I look over to my right. And as I look over to my right, I start hearing the most blood-curdling, agonizing screams that I've ever heard in my life. I mean, there is no movie, there is no disaster that I've ever witnessed or seen online or seen a movie of where people were so many people. I mean, uh, tens of thousands of people all screaming at the top of their lungs in agony. Very easy to tell that they were just terrified, they were being tormented. And I look over to my right and I can see that there is a lake of fire and there are people, there are real people in this lake of fire who are burning. Some of them are raising up their hands to try to get out, to try to reach a rock or to reach a pedestal to try to get out. And the flesh on their hands is literally just melting off. I see people's faces where their skin is melting off of their faces. As these people are looking around trying to find some sort of salvation from this fire, I see their eyeballs popping. Their tongues are literally on fire. As they scream and their mouths are open, I can see that their tongues are on fire. These are people who are in just extreme, extreme pain and agony in here. And within this lake of fire, it's very strange because the fire itself is bright. I can see light coming from the fire, but the light that was being emanated from the flame was only traveling like that much. So it was like there was light and there was dark, but there was no separation between them. It was like both light and dark. And that was the only luminance that I could see coming from this lake of fire. I could see within the lake of fire, there was like these pedestals that looked like there were people that were climbing up these pedestals in the middle of the lake of fire that were trying to jump from one pedestal to the next to the next. And then I looked over and I could see that the reason why they were trying to jump on these pedestals was because there was a window that was heaven. And it's weird, this entire time when I'm in this place, I'm seeing these people burning, I'm seeing that I'm in a cave, it doesn't really hit me yet that I'm in hell until I see a window to heaven. That's when it hits me. Oh my God, I'm in hell and these people are trying to get to heaven. And it seems like when you look at it visually, seems like you could just jump from pedestal to pedestal to eventually get to that window. But as the people are jumping, that last jump is just too far and they end up falling right back into the lake of fire. And then as people burn in this fire, I see some of the people who the skin had just completely melted off of their hand, their skin will regenerate on their hands and on their bodies just so they can start burning again. Then the entire process starts all over. They have like a millisecond where they're not burning and then they just start burning all over again. And as these people are trying to jump through these pedestals, trying to get to the window of heaven, now I'm in this realization like, oh my God, I've really, really messed up. This immense wave of despair, hopelessness, sadness, horror just overwhelms me in that moment. And I've never felt the intensity of what I was feeling in this place ever on earth. And the best way that I can describe it is when you are in your human body, There is limits to everything that you can feel. There is a limit to the amount of happiness you can feel. There's a limit to the amount of sadness you can feel because our bodies are only able to hit that limit. For instance, if you don't have a very strong heart, there's a limit to the amount of sadness you can feel. Because if you feel so sad and you have a weak heart, you're going to die of a broken heart. You're going to die of a heart attack. That's the limit that you hit there because of your body. When you are without a body, when you are in your soul form, there's absolutely no limit to the amount of pain that you can feel emotionally. It was just exponential, the amount of pain and sorrow and hopelessness and despair. And no matter how many times I say these words or add adjectives in front of these words, nothing will compare to what I was feeling in that moment. Just utter hopelessness. I felt like I could cry forever. And when I had that thought of just breaking down in tears, I noticed I tried to cry, but there were no tears because there's no water in hell at all. It felt like it was stuck in me and I couldn't get it out. Because when you cry, you're kind of letting out that emotion. You're kind of letting out that pain so it's not so overwhelming to your body. But I couldn't let it out. It was just all stuck within me. And there was nothing that could take that feeling away. I started thinking about my family. I started thinking about the life that I was leading on earth. I started feeling this intense regret that I was so dumb. I could not believe that I had this amazing life on earth and now it's all gone. This feeling inside of me that everything is lost and you can never get it back. It's too late for you. And I kept on hearing this over and over in my mind. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Just over and over. And every time I heard that term, it's too late, just added another 10x of sadness on top of what I was already feeling. It was the most intense emotional experience that I've ever had. I was terrified. I was horrified. I would have given anything in that moment. I would have taken everything back if I knew this is what was going to happen to me. As I'm in this absolute torment just within myself, I'm not even looking at any of the terrible things that are going on around me. I'm just completely focused at this moment on what I'm feeling about myself, about my life, about all the mistakes that I've made. As I'm in this self-loathing kind of situation within myself, I'm still hearing the screams and the smell of sulfur and burning flesh and of soot. And my mouth was completely dry. My tongue felt like a rock, just a sandpaper rock in my mouth. The people that were just screaming a minute ago, that were just in complete agony, who had their eyeballs popping, who had their skin melting off of their face, those people who had just been screaming in agony suddenly started to shift. Now, one by one, instead of screaming, they're still burning. The burning is still going on. They're still being tormented. They're still being tortured. One by one, they start saying, Jesus, 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 getting more and more intense each time they say it. And then I look over to my right shoulder and I can see that there's this white glow that's walking down this pathway that's right over to my right-hand side. And this white glow is walking closer and closer to me. Just the glow felt like authority. Just the glow felt so powerful. I can't even express it. I didn't even see, I couldn't see where the glow was coming from because I couldn't turn my head fully around. I felt like my body was just seized up, or my soul body was just seized up and I couldn't move very well. But I see the glow start to get closer and closer and closer. And now the people are saying, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And I turn as much as I can to look over to see what's happening. And the people who were burning were reaching out for him. As he's walking by them, all of them are reaching out, just trying to touch his garment. And they are like millimeters away from, like they go so close as they're grasping, but they just cannot touch him. And I felt like that was another torment for them, because when they would try to reach for him and not reach him, their screams would get louder, their frustration would grow, because they know, and this is just a knowledge that was just given to me in that moment. As I'm watching this unfold, I get this concept in my mind that if they were to touch his garment, they would be sent to heaven, because now they are believers in Jesus. They believe that he is the Son of God. They believe in his power, they believe in his authority, and if they simply touch his garment, their faith will take them to heaven. But they can't. They get so close with every single grasp, but they can never actually touch his garment.
There aren't more than two options for when we leave the earth. There's heaven and there's hell, and that's about the size of it. There's no middle ground. There's no, well, I'm an atheist, so it doesn't apply to me. No, no, no. It applies to every human soul who walks this earth, and you have that time that was granted to you, birthday after birthday, but you wanted to turn up your nose, you wanted to debate, you wanted to be hostile, you wanted to say you have no time for that. Well, hell is a place where everybody has time, because time doesn't exist anymore. You're in eternity. So hell is a place where nobody's in a rush. You were in a rush on the earth. You didn't want to hear the pastor. You spat at the minister that's preaching at the side of the road. You turned up your face and your eyes and you threw your science books and all of your other books at the Bible. But hell is a place where people who did that are in utter regret, in utter and total regret. But they can't come back and change their minds. While you're here on this earth, living and breathing, this is the time to look into your eternity. Look how many people have spoken the same thing that the Bible has said about heaven and hell. They've spoken it. God is merciful and He's given people the chance to see these things, to hear these things. But if you want to remain stiff-necked and then decide that you are so bold, you are so brave that you could go to your grave. Imagine you're going to a place of finality with a chest puffed up against the Most High God, a place of finality where from which no one can come back. Once that silver cord is cut and you're dead, that's it. The people who you've seen come back, the silver cord was not yet cut. So they were able to come back. But once the silver cord is cut, that's death. Imagine you're so bold that you want to go to your grave with your fist raised against Yahweh. It will not be well with you if you choose to do that. I am here warning souls. I am here pleading with souls to think about your eternity. Don't turn back if you are a follower of Christ. And if you're not, think about your eternity, because it doesn't matter what you think is or is not going to happen. You have a soul and you will answer to the creator of that soul. You can throw your books at him all you want, but there will come a day when you will no longer be able to do so. Make the right choice for your soul. Time is running out. Thank you for being here, and until next time.